Let's move to this story. It's been a bloody weekend in South Africa with 21 people gunned down in taverns. All three incidents happened in different locations. At a tavern in Soweto, 15 people were shot dead. In Pietermaritzburg, 4 were killed, and in Katlehong, 2 others were killed. Police are yet to establish the motives for these killings. But how do we control gun violence in our country? Or is it beyond gun violence? Let's unpack this with crime analyst Chris de Kock. Thank you so much for your time. Chris, we do appreciate it. The introduction speaks about gun violence, but I don't think it's really gun violence that or gun control that we are dealing with at this stage. It's the fact that we have illegal ammunition in the country that's in the wrong hands, and perhaps the inability of police to control the situation. How do you see things?
Yeah, well, first, good afternoon. And then I want to say, yeah, it's not the gun. The guns can't shoot on their own. There's a motive behind any shooting. It may be domestic, it may be a hit squad, it may be taxi violence or robbery, that during a robbery somebody's getting killed. So if we take these cases of the weekend, it was just that the gun did more damage than if the people wouldn't have no guns. 50% of our murders in any case is not committed with guns. So we must look at the motives, and we must look at what is happening in South Africa at present. There's something wrong. We have just a wave of murders. After the last quarterly release of crime statistics about 2 months ago, I combined all 4 quarters which was released to form the 2021-2022 get to that stats. And what I got was that murder increase, and I didn't like the police compare it with the COVID year because that's totally wrong. I compared it with 2019-2020, which was before COVID. And what I found was that there's a 16.6% increase in murder. Now, that is the highest increase in murder I have ever seen in my 69 years. I have not seen that, and especially since the beginning of the democratic South Africa in 1994-95, I have never seen a double-digit increase. The highest that I have seen during the past 20 years was 6.7%. Now, here suddenly we had a 16.6%. And what is even more strange, as you go through the 4 quarters of last year, the previous financial year, 2021-2022, it increased with each quarter. It started off below 10%, then it went into 10, then it went into 20% increase in the 3rd quarter, and more than 40% increase in the 4th quarter. Something is clearly wrong. Now, guns is an instrument in this.
Sorry to interrupt, but what do you think is wrong? What do you think is the problem? Because it seems as though people are getting more and more violent. People are out to kill and murder. How do you just storm a tavern and kill 15 people at once? And they found 150 cartridges on the scene. That sends a different message, and that paints a different picture, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it actually shows that people don't mind what the intensity of violence that they use. They will use maximum violence in robbery. They will use maximum violence in these hits. I think I look at this stage, it's very difficult to say what was the motive behind this attack. But clearly it's not somebody who, like the American shootings, mass shootings that you get here. It was a few men with high-caliber firearms. It seems AK-47 was used, according to our eyewitness, went in and sprayed the whole tavern. And then even after that, people walked in with 9mm pistols, and they finish off those people who were not dead by that stage. Now this is really the worst brutality that you can think of. This can actually be compared with terror, with a terror attack. But I don't think that was the motive. I think the motive here may have been that there is some protection scams, that you have people who give protection to who offer their protection to a tavern like this, and then the tavern don't take it, and then they say, well, now you will see what will happen to you. But to kill all those people to indicate to the tavern owner that he needs protection, that is very bad. But there is something wrong in South Africa during the past year, and especially during the past quarter or two.
Definitely something wrong. Chris, just last question from me. Sorry to interject there. What do you think the role of police is in all of this? Because people are looking at the police minister and saying, but what are you going to do here? This cannot continue. Something's got to give. But then you also have MECs for community safety saying, but this is a broader issue. This is communities coming together. There are way too many taverns in the area. There's alcohol abuse that's going on here. What would you say would be the role of policing here? Do we need more policing on the ground? Is the police minister accountable? Should he be held responsible for the fact that murders continue and they're just increasing?
Well, look, if this is the work of a hit squad that was hired to hit this tavern, to show to this tavern that they should have had protection, then clearly it's the role of crime intelligence. We need, when it comes to this type of, if it's organized crime, which I think, then you need crime intelligence. You need intelligence, who's who in this area of hit squads. And then you can even get information that they are going to do a hit, so you can prevent it. Furthermore, our problem is that we have no visibility in these areas. There is very low visibility of police. If there was a higher level of police visibility based on intelligence, I think one could have prevented some of these at least.
Certainly. It's a very worrying picture, and hopefully police get to the bottom of this, because this just cannot continue. Thank you so much for your time. That was crime analyst Chris de Kock speaking to us about the massacres that have occurred over the past weekend in KwaZulu-Natal as well as here in Gauteng.